Hello FPL managers, yes, we're back again for the Fantasy Premier League 2021-22 season. In this video, we're going to be checking out the 5 best potential forwards who are being rumoured to be transferred in to the Premier League. And we're also going to be looking at some preseason games that have gone down since the last time we checked. If you're new to the channel, we drop FPL content once every week, so please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It really helps me out a lot. Let's get straight into business. So our first rumoured forward to be transferred into the league is Inter Milan's Romelu Lukaku. I'm recording this on a Sunday morning, so I don't think it's been announced just yet, but from the rumours, it's pretty close. Chelsea are gonna get their man finally for a little under 100 million pounds. So he's 28 years old, so that's a lot of money to be spending, but this guy's a beast. I mean, last season he scored 24 goals, created 11 assists, created 10 big chances, and for forward, as you know, of his physique, you don't expect him to be a creator, but he does a lot of that. He missed 19 big chances, so he gets into a lot of really good positions. He's a very complete forward. Chelsea are getting a very good player indeed. If he's going to get into the team, he's most likely going to be kicking out Timo Werner, more than likely, because Hakim Ziyech seems to be doing very well in preseason. I'll be completely shocked if Thomas Tuchel drops Ziyech in favor of Werner, but I'm not gonna be too surprised because Lukaku is definitely gonna be starting games for Chelsea, so you guys might want to think about getting him in. I myself, I don't usually get in new players who get transferred into the Premier League, but he's not a new Premier League player. He's been there before. Last time he was here, his last season, he scored 12 goals for Manchester United, but he's been scoring a lot of goals. He did pretty well for Everton while he was there, so he's not a new player at all. He's not someone who would need to acclimatize to the league. He's been here before. He definitely knows what the league is about, and I expect that he's going to really perform for Chelsea. If he does transfer in, he's not necessarily going to change the formation. I think the 3-4-3 formation, the 3-4-2-1 formation that Tuchel usually goes with, he's going to stick with that, and Lukaku will really thrive in that because he plays in the same position for the Belgian national team, and you see how well he did in the Euros. So I don't expect him to do any different. He would probably cost around the same as Kane, or probably just a little under. If he goes for anything less than 11.5 million, I see a lot of managers going for it. Okay, I see a lot of managers convincing themselves that they can go without Bruno Fernandes. So if you have a Lukaku who's costing less than that, then you really should expect a lot of managers would have Lukaku in their teams. Okay, it may involve you dropping probably downgrading some of your defenders. You may not have a Digne anymore or Cresswell anymore. You may come down to probably 5 million or even 4.5 million defenders. You may have to stick with Sanchez. You may have to, bring down your midfield players, maybe not the Salah, but most definitely might involve losing Fernandes. But if you intend to keep Fernandes, then you will definitely have probably 6.5 million on 6 million midfielders to complete your teams, especially if you intend to stick with Watkins and Antonio in attack. Okay, so more than likely, if he goes for less than 12 million, I see a lot of managers going for him. So that's our first forward, our first potential forward. Well, he's almost announced anyway. Romelu Lukaku, formerly of Inter Milan, soon to be of Chelsea. There you go. If Lukaku does get announced as a new Chelsea player, then more than likely Tammy Abraham is gone. Okay, there's interest from West Ham. There's also rumors of Arsenal getting, being interested in Tammy. there are lot of teams I'm hearing. Even Atalanta might get interested in case Inter Milan attempts to replace Lukaku with Duvan Zapata of Atalanta. Then they would come in for Tammy Abraham. Arsenal might do the same thing, but my guess is they're trying to keep their options open. So there's West Ham as well. There was rumors of Aston Villa also coming in for Tammy, but they've gone for Danny Ings instead. So that leaves West Ham at the moment. We all know that Antonio is really prone to injuries, so Tammy might just be like a backup to him, just in case he gets injured, or who knows, he might play just alongside Antonio in attack for West Ham. That would be cool. Last season, Tammy only scored 6 goals, created 1 assist, created 1 big chance and missed 4 big chances. I think he only made about 12 starts for Chelsea in the league. So with 7 goal involvements in 12 starts is a good return, if you ask me. That's a good return. The season before that, he was really amazing. So Tammy Abraham has a lot to offer for whichever team he ends up in. I see him doing very well. If he goes to West Ham, he's right now, I think he's about 6.5 million. I see a lot of managers considering Tammy Abraham. It all depends on how West Ham intend to line up. If they do bring him in, if they do make him a starter, a lot of managers are going to definitely have Tammy Abraham in their teams. Okay, so this one you might want to keep an eye on. Tammy Abraham of Chelsea, with Lukaku coming in, he definitely would be leaving. Indeed. Another team who are interested in Tammy is Tottenham Hotspur. They have Harry Kane currently in their books, but with Manchester City sniffing around Harry Kane, you more than likely would expect them to get him for 130 or 150 million thereabouts. I don't know if Man City would go ahead and give Spurs that much money for Kane. He's 28 years old, but he did really well last season. Won the Golden Boot, scoring 23 goals, 14 assists, created 14 big chances and missed 13 big chances. He's still quite good. It's just his age might not allow for Man City to splurge as much as they would if it was a 26-year-old Harry Kane. Okay, so I expect that Man City will get their man, especially after seeing them play yesterday against Leicester City. They played with no striker at all, no centre forward. Gabriel Jesus was nowhere to be found, so they are in desperate need of an attacker. They will continue to lose important games like these if they continue to be stubborn and go without a centre forward. So they will definitely want to get one, and Harry Kane looks set to replace Sergio Aguero in that attack. If they eventually lose Kane, Tammy could be one of the options they could go for, or they could go for Dusan Vlahovic of Fiorentina. We're hearing rumors that they would go for him in case they are able to get that Harry Kane money. Vlahovic is a very young player. He scored 21 goals last season, 3 assists with 3 big chances created. He missed 12 big chances. For Fiorentina, this is not really a top level Italian team. They're more mid-table, and for him to score 21 goals, that's something that will really catch the eye of really big teams, and Spurs might want to capitalize really early, with him getting a lot of attention from not just Spurs themselves, but from a team like Arsenal, who seem to be keeping an eye out for attackers. They may be planning to sell 1 or 2, so they may be out for attackers. So Spurs might want to move in really quickly for a player like this, Dusan Vlahovic. He definitely is that type of player. He's really big, has a really good physique, so he might be suited for the Premier League, and if they get him, I see him doing quite well. Another player who Arsenal might be looking at is Lautaro Martinez. He scored 17 goals last season, the Copa America winner. He made 6 assists, created 9 big chances, missed 12 big chances. Playing alongside Romelu Lukaku might have a thing to do with it, but this is a very, very good player. He's a top player, and if Arsenal are able to get him, then they've got a very good player indeed. But we're hearing that with Lukaku going to Chelsea, that Inter might not want to sell Lautaro Martinez, and then we're hearing other rumors saying that Inter are willing to sell anybody at all for the right price. So that's a signal that none of their players are going to come cheap. Whatever their decisions may be, you may need to put out top dollar to get your man. So Arsenal are looking at this player, and if they're able to get him, then he may feature in their squad. With Aubameyang not scoring a lot of goals, you can see why they would be going for him. Lacazette might not remain, so what I see is probably Arteta pushing Aubameyang back to the left wing, which really isn't conducive, especially if you intend to have someone like Aubameyang in your FPL squads. But if Lautaro Martinez plays in the center forward position with a very good creative midfielder behind him, then he will definitely really blossom. But if he doesn't get that, then I don't see Lautaro Martinez being a very good option on FPL. Okay, so those are the 5 forwards, potential forwards, who may get transferred into the Premier League and may be available for our FPL teams this season. As for our preseason games that have gone down, a bunch went down yesterday. Manchester United beat Everton 4 goals to nothing. They started Greenwood in center forward position. No, it was really center forward position. He started in the right wing position, around where you'd expect Jadon Sancho to play. Anthony Martial started that game, which is good. It's good to have him back. Also, we had Harry Maguire back and Luke Shaw, so it was a complete defense with David De Gea in goal. So it was really good. It was a good run out for the Manchester United team. They scored 4 goals. You had Bruno Fernandes scoring a very good free kick. Mason Greenwood capitalizing on some defensive haps from Everton to score his goal. Luke Shaw providing the assist for Harry Maguire. That is something that a lot of FPL managers would love to see. This rumor about this expectation of Everton being a better defensive unit with Benitez being their new manager, they didn't really show that in that game yesterday. In other games, we had Wolves losing to Celta Vigo 1-0. We had Raul Jimenez starting that game. In fact, you might want to look at the lineups of the teams that are playing preseason games this weekend. That would give you a better idea of how these coaches are gonna set up for game week 1. Okay, we had whoever playing in defense for Wolves and Ait Nouri on the bench. So whoever might be a player who a lot of FPL managers might want to have on their bench at least. He's a 4.0 million defender who is looking like he's gonna be starting games. So that's one you might want to keep an eye on. We had Burnley playing Cadiz of Spain and losing 2-0. We had Pope starting that game. We also had Chris Wood back from the Olympics. He started that game, but didn't stop Burnley losing that game 2-0. We also had Newcastle facing Norwich City. Callum Wilson is back. The injury, I think he shrugged that off, so he's back. Norwich don't seem to be very good, so that bodes well for Liverpool assets who are going to be facing them in game week 1. We had Zaha going crazy against Watford, scored 2 goals. So Crystal Palace won that game 3-1. Watford is another team who isn't scoring a lot of goals in pre-season. Although this is pre-season, and it doesn't really mean that they aren't going to be good during the season, but it's a good indication to see where they're at least at the start of the season. And Watford, I don't expect them to be scoring a lot of goals at all at the start of the season. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, Zaha seems to be a very interesting asset. He's been doing very well in pre-season, scoring quite a number of goals. He's on penalties, and with Patrick Vieira setting up in a 4-3-3, we may see Crystal Palace being more attacking this season, so their attacking assets might become attractive. But Zaha at 7.0 million is the standout choice. Okay, we had Southampton losing to Athletic Bilbao 3-1. Theo Walcott scored the only goal for Southampton, but it's quite interesting. Livramento, the new signing for Southampton at right back, he's from Chelsea, and he provided the assist, and I think he's 4.0 million on FPL. But what might prevent you from going for him is because Kyle Walker-Peters plays the same position, so he might not be a starter. But it's interesting that in his first game he created the assist for Theo Walcott. And with Danny Ings no longer a Southampton player, that might make Che Adams a more attractive asset if you think Southampton are going to still be a good team to have players from. West Ham played Atalanta, and they beat them 2-0. That bodes well for us who have West Ham defenders and a West Ham attacker in Antonio. Bowen and Benrahma have been looking quite good in pre-season, and they're quite cheap too in midfield, so these are players you might want to keep an eye on. Probably have them in your watch list if you see they're doing quite good, and West Ham do have a good start to the season. You might want to quickly bring them in before their prices start going up. Okay, Brentford faced Valencia, and they won that game 2-1, and that was without Ivan Toney. He wasn't on the starting 11, he wasn't on the bench, and so it's quite impressive that they won that game 2-1. Leeds drew to Villarreal. Leeds have been conceding a lot of goals in pre-season. It's interesting that they changed to a 4-1-4-1 formation without Junior Firpo. I think he picked up a knock in the last game. Without him available, they switched back to a 4-1-4-1 formation from that 3-3-1-3 formation. So with Dallas, they had him playing in defense, and if that's going to be the plan this season, that is going to ensure that Dallas does not get picked for our teams, because taking him further away from the goal is going to be counterintuitive, especially now that he costs 5.5 million. There are better assets you can have for that amount. Okay, so that is our quick rundown of the friendlies that went down yesterday. Congratulations to Leicester City for winning the Community Shield. They've opened the season with kind of like an upset, so hopefully that is a sign of things to come. Man City, though, they played their second 11. They had even a bunch of youth players, I think a couple of youth players in there, so I'm not too surprised that Leicester were able to overcome that Manchester City team. Grealish didn't win anything in his first game for Manchester City, so that was a sad one for him. But I expect Man City to be back from game week 1. They'll have their first 11, at least without Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's got an injury, so that's going to be it. So that's the video for today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We drop videos once every week, and we continue to do that until the season ends. The season is just around the corner. It's in 5 days time. Our final draft is going to be dropping either on Thursday or at least Friday morning. I want it to be close to when the season begins, because there's a lot of rumors going around, a lot of players being rumored to move in, a lot of players being rumored to move out of the league. I want to have a better idea of how teams stand before I release that final draft to you guys. So look out for that Thursday or Friday. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. I hope I didn't ramble on too long. Have fun, and I'll catch you on the next one.